So last year, the infamous Trash Tuesday episode was uploaded to their YouTube channel, which essentially caused one of the biggest comedy dramas ever since the Joe Rogan and Carlos Mencia incident back then, because Khalyla's little girly talk essentially blew up in her face, causing many long-time relationships to end. Reputations were destroyed, but just like a nuclear explosion, the fallout continued to do a lot of damage to Khalyla. Her Trash Tuesday podcast is now at an all-time low. Bobby and her broke up their potential engagement, and now Bobby Lee has confirmed that Khalyla is actually moving out of the house with her family or siblings, which is pretty big. So let's take a look.
Well, you either get married and live with somebody, or like Bobby, where you have a house full of vigilante Filipinos.
Well, this week they're moving.
It makes me what?
They're packing. It's so sad.
What?
Oh God,
I think it's amazing.
it's not. It's gonna be so lonely.
Wait, where's everybody going?
They got a house.
In the Philippines.
No, in L.A.
They're letting them stay.
Yes,
I thought you were like a guardian.
I called. I didn't say I called them.
Wait, so they got a house?
Yeah.
Oh wow, the girls are gone.
They're leaving.
Let's be real for a second.
Okay.
You are going to be living alone.
Yeah.
Are you a little scared of living alone?
I'm really. It's sad,
Bob.
because now I'm like take the lamp.
Oh my God, it's like that.
Yeah.
Well, what about the animals?
The animals are gone.
All of them?
The 4 dogs, yes.
Oh my God, so nothing's going to be no
The cats.
animals? The cats are at the house.
Yes.
I was a bit skeptical about the entire breakup at first, but I think this makes me believe that it's actually true, because the entire situation with them living together after the breakup was a little bit odd, especially since more of Khalyla's family members kept moving into the house to live with them. So at the very least, it made a lot of fans question whether the whole thing was legit or if it was an attempt to take negative attention off of Khalyla. But it sounds like it's pretty serious, and even Andrew Santino looked as if he was just hearing about it during the podcast, and he was very surprised. And even though it was expected if they actually broke up, hearing about it is a little bit weird because of how long they've been together, which again, it is a huge deal considering that not too long ago they were talking about getting engaged and getting married.
So last week on our episode with Annie and Esther, I told them that before you left Hawaii, you asked that I plan a wedding. And I was like, well, we're not engaged. And then you said...
We are engaged. We're getting married.
I wanted to ask you guys' opinion. So the other day, Bobby, but right before he leaves for Hawaii, he's packing his bag. He says this, hey, you should plan a wedding. And then I was like, what do you mean? We're not even engaged. He was like, oh, I'll do that after you plan the wedding. I was like, well, how do you think this works?
Just, I wanted clarification on this.
Yeah.
We're not engaged. How does this work for you in your head? What goes
already
first?
telling people.
Are you kidding
all
me?
the people at Magnum PI weren't getting married. They always said congratulations.
Is it the dream you always want?
I mean,
I don't know. Listen, I don't know how to do it the other way. I don't want to do storybook. No, we're just going to say it. I'm not getting a handshake. We're getting married.
no, we're engaged.
Go ahead.
I guess
Let's go. Let's move on.
That's it.
Is that real now? Can we confirm this?
Ask him. That's it.
Who is this 2-1?
This is gonna go out to everyone. Are you confirming? You
Look,
are
he has to take a
engaged?
phone call. That's how important this engagement is to
Yeah,
him.
we're getting married. We're getting married.
By looking at Trash Tuesday's overall performance and timing of the project, it is clear that Annie, Esther, and Khalyla wanted to capitalize on the online entertainment boom that happened in 2020, which pushed a lot of people to start their own podcast, including Brendan Schaub with his Thiccc Boy Studios channel. They rode the wave, and with Bobby Lee's and Tiger Belly's help, they were able to do pretty well for those couple of months. And then the Brendan Schaub drama did give him a little bit of a bump during that time, but ever since then, it's been a deep decline. The Trash Tuesday YouTube channel has not gained any new subscribers, and their views are down by 50% compared to what they used to get last year. And their new episodes struggle to break around 80,000 views per episode, which, to be fair, compared to how many subscribers they have, which is 150,000, it's pretty good view to subscriber ratio, but it's nothing compared to what it used to be last year. Not only that, but Khalyla has also damaged her reputation, at least within the Rogan sphere and YouTube.
I mean, well, there was the big one was the Bobby Lee, Brendan Schaub one. That was the big one.
Yeah.
That was like probably
They were together in the green room at the Comedy Store. I was there.
Really?
I was sitting there. We all took a picture together.
That was a crazy one because
What was that over?
Khalyla.
Yeah.
It was, I guess, Brendan had hit on Khalyla. I mean, I feel bad. It's all stuff people know, so I'm not doing any. I'm just rehashing old shit. but Brendan had hit on Khalyla, and Khalyla and Annie and Esther brought it up on their podcast.
How do we know if the Bobby Lee, Brendan Schaub, if it's real?
It's very real.
It was?
Oh,
is it going to
yeah.
get violent?
No.
Oh, good.
It would be extremely one-sided.
Be very fast, wouldn't it?
They did a podcast together to squash it. Just like the 2.1 million views.
Oh, you haven't seen that?
Wow.
It's a pretty interesting one.
Is it legit squashed or is it?
No.
Oh.
I mean, I don't think. I
think that girl, like the way she was like, the way they were trying. Oh, sorry, we didn't mean to.
I know you meant. You know what it was, and you're engaging the Reddit. You were making the Reddit cook it up.
Yeah.
And honestly, when we had him on, we had like a talk with him about it. Like,
and he's just a good dude. I'm happy to see him happy.
Yeah, me too.
And I bet his DMs are filled with bomb.
Hell yeah.
I'm sure there's a lot of girls want to take up where Khalyla left off. Let me show you some next level. Now they also realize they could get famous if they're Bobby Lee's girlfriend. There's probably a lot of those girls.
It's so dangerous nowadays.
So it's got to duck them. You got to know which one's a sociopath. Yeah. Which one's pretending they like you. And which one just really likes funny guys.
Mm-hmm. However, obviously Khalyla wasn't the only one to suffer from the fallout, because Thiccc Boy Studios has also been performing at its worst ever. They have also not gained any new subscribers this month, and their views are way down. Obviously, I don't have to go into how the internet perceives Brendan Schaub and how much he is hated. His other podcast, The Fighter and the Kid, is also struggling lately. And Brendan Schaub has said himself in some of the latest episodes that he is not doing so well.
I remember when you were all stressed out.
Rogan saw me with my shirt off. We were in Vegas. I just finished working out. I was in great shape. And he goes, God damn. He was like that. He was like, "You're worried. I'm worried about you." Covered.
Well, you should be worried about me, Rogan.
But it never came back. All right, let's go on to the next thing.
No. So that's if they're hating on me and they're knocking me, even though this is easy for me to say, then I'm doing something right, because I realize that through social media.
I must be doing really well.
You are. They're engaging. You know you're doing well. You're doing. Do you not think you're doing well?
I don't know, Howie.
You really don't know.
I don't know. I know I'm doing well compared to.
Where do you come from? Where are you from?
Denver, Colorado.
And did you grow up with money?
No, not at all.
Not at all.
Not at all.
So you pursue, talk about just doing it. First of all,
been that way.
And it's very clear that Bobby Lee was the one to take the most advantage of this situation, gaining a lot of new fans, a lot of new respect for other comics. And in a way, you can say that Brendan Schaub sacrificed his own career to save Bobby Lee's life, because as this whole thing went on, Bobby Lee and the entire internet were able to see Khalyla's and Brendan Schaub's true personalities, and because of the whole drama going on, it made it easier for Bobby Lee to separate from Khalyla. And the timing is a little bit interesting, because Bobby Lee and Andrew Santino and their co-host on Bad Friends, they're all going on tour this year. So they're going to be away from LA for a while, which is interesting, because is there maybe a possibility that Bobby Lee didn't want Khalyla alone in his house while he was going to be away for potentially a long time? Because clearly that is the same dilemma that the co-host had about not getting an apartment before going on tour.
How close are we to getting you in your own apartment?
Really close. I'm just waiting to decide what to do. Like when the tour comes out, if we're gone for a whole month, I feel like I shouldn't get the place right before we go.
Yeah.
So I might wait to get the place after we get back.
And just, you can, honestly, and this is going to sound, you're not going to do this, but if you literally needed some help financially, you can always go to us.
Well, thank you guys.
You know that, right?
But this whole thing is another stream of income, so it's already been such a great help. I'm
like podcast math. Like if I do Brendan's podcast, do I have to worry about alienating Bobby? If I do, have I made any enemies today by doing this podcast?
Probably, yeah. Probably. I can tell you a couple of people that won't want to have you on their podcast.
Really? Who's that? Tell me who.
I'm not going to say their names.
Really? Edit it out.
Fuck yeah.
Come on, say it. Who?
No. There's definitely people that...
Really?
Now, something else I find very interesting from the conversation between Bert and Orny was the fact that Orny brought up Bobby Lee and Khalyla, because if you guys didn't know, Orny had Bobby Lee on his podcast a while back, and it was actually a great episode. Recommend you watch it. But in that podcast episode, Bobby Lee brought up the entire Brendan Schaub drama, addressed the whole thing, and also went in on how he understands that people like it. People like the drama. They make clips. They talk about it, and how it's beneficial for the podcast and for business. Orny was talking about how he wasn't that way, and it looks now as if he took a page from Bobby Lee's book, because he went on Birdcast and brought up the drama, which is a little bit too late, but he still did it, which makes me think he wants to go on the Fighter and the Kid podcast next. And I wonder if he will bring up the Bobby Lee situation, because it would be a good opportunity for the Fighter and the Kid podcast to use that as content, maybe get a little bump because they clearly need it. Otherwise, I don't know what they're going to be doing for the rest of the year. But let me know what you think in the comments below. Like the video and subscribe to support the channel. Dislike if you didn't like the video, but that is all we have for today. See ya.